Okay, it's afternoon, eh? Okay. So I'm giving an overview of aquaculture development in Ghana. My name is Laura here from the Fisheries Commission. So let me quickly just give you some small story about our landscape in Ghana. We have seen aquaculture as the only thing that can bridge the gap between our demand and production of fish. I want to use 2022 data to give you the story that I want to talk about. In 2022, Ghana will need about 1.3 million metric tons of fish to feed the country. Our total production in 2022 was 570 plus metric tons, which is almost about half of what we wanted. So we decided to import some fish. What we could import was only about 165,000 metric tons, which is still insufficient. Now, when we go to the marine center, the production that particular year dropped by 15,000 metric tons. Fortunately, aquaculture increased in that same year by 43,000 metric tons, which means that aquaculture can bridge the gap. And interestingly, Egypt, you have shown us that aquaculture is even higher than the marine sector. Okay. Now, because government put certain programs in place, we call aquaculture for food and jobs and other things, and we have been teaching them what they should do, and people invested into that sector for them to get that production. As we go along, I will tell you what happened on the way. Now, in Ghana, for small-scale farmers, those who are producing between 1 ton to 50 tons, we call them small scale. We have over 3,000 of them. But in 2024, we did what we call aquaculture for food and jobs, where about 9,500 people were to be trained. About 4,000 plus were given polytons, fingerling and feed to produce. Now we need to go and validate whether they are all in production before we can add that data to what we have now. That's why I put that one in bracket. So the data for small scale will increase after we have validated those who have succeeded in their production. For medium scale, those who are producing more than 50 to 100 metric tons, we call them small scale. We have about 14 of them in the country. And when it comes to large scale, those who are producing more than 100 metric tons up, we call it large scale, and we have about only 6 of them there. That one we need to validate. There are some more in the system that we need to capture, to add, and then we go forward from there. Now, our production systems, we have a lot of ponds, earthen ponds. We do tanks also, where we do the tackling tanks, and then there are some cages, few aquaponics, and then we have the RAS system in the biofloc. You can see these are the local cages that we have there. It's a sample of concrete tanks, earthen tanks there. And then what you are seeing there is the tackling tanks that we are using in various homes. For the large scale farmers, they use the water cages that you can see they look a little bit different. These are each of the rest of the system that we have in the country. Some people are practicing it, and then there are few aquaponics in the system as well. We have, let's say, 4 main species, but the top of them is tilapia, which is the majority of that we do there. For catfish, it's on the lower side. But etrotis is quite low. The production is quite low. And shrimp, they are still struggling to survive in the system. So, but these are the only species that we are poultry in Ghana now. We are thinking about how to diversify them to bring in more species. Now, this is a picture I want you to look at. This is a production of Ghana from 2009 to 2024. You can see that from 2009, there's a steady growth or increase of production. And then in 2018, when we had the mountain one, and then we had the ISKNV virus coming in, and then there was some mortalities in the system. So in 2019, our production went down to 52,000 only. But God being on our side, and due to our resilience it started increasing again. Then 2022, we recorded the highest production in 2022. That's why I use the 2022 data. But there was a flooding, natural disaster in the country. For that matter, most of the KDs were also eroded. So 2023, our production also dropped again. And I mean, God be on our side and put it that way. We have started moving again, and we think we can go up there. But we want to find a way by which we can sort out all these challenges and problems that we have in the country. Okay, let's move forward. Now, just to give you a picture of the species and then their performance in terms of production from 2015 to 2022. You realize that the shrimp in 2017 and 2018, they came up strongly. But due to challenges we've had to get the PL, there's a problem there. For that matter, the shrimp culture is more or less dangling around the place. And the authorities, when we started taking the data from that one, they also did some production in 2023 and 2024. That's the performance of the species that we have in the country now. So you can see that tilapia is still the best performing species or species that we have in the country as compared to catfish. Now, when it comes to the legal frame, I mean, laws regarding our aquaculture sector, we have a lot of laws, and international laws, everything. And I want to name some few to you. The major one is our law, which is the Fisheries Act. Act 625 has been reviewed. So now we are using the Act 2025, which was currently passed. It's a major legal framework that we are using. Then we have the regulation 2010 that also helps us to actually activate the laws that we have in the country. Let me just go through them quickly. Then we have the amendment law, which is regulation 2010, LI, that's the amendment version. We have the National Aquaculture Code of Practice and Guidelines. We have the Ghana National Aquaculture Development Plan 2024-2028, which guards the growth of our aquaculture sector there. Then we have the Environmental Protection Act, which also has got something to do with aquaculture production. Before you can be licensed, you must have something from EP. So it's also part of our framework that we used. Then we have the Water Resources Commission. Because you want to use water, you also have to go there for license before you can give permit to run an aquaculture. So you also form part of the law that we use in running aquaculture in Ghana. Then we have the Aquatic Animal Health Policy 2017, which focuses on biosecurity, strengthening emergency disease preparedness, improving disease detection and surveillance, enhancing availability of appropriate and safe veterinary medicines, etc., etc. This policy gives the picture as what we should go and so forth. Apart from that, you have the Public Health Act. Because of food safety and other things, we also have to give regard to that one to make sure our productions are safe. And then we have the Aquatic Animal Health Code 2019 that will also apply. We have the ECOWAS protocol. We have the ECOWAS Comprehensive Strategic Framework. We also use African Union Policy Framework. We use the Code of Conduct for distributed fisheries, like the FAO. So Ghana, when we talk about laws, we are quite heavily loaded. We make sure we use all these things to make sure we are running the perfect system in Ghana. Now, when it comes to epidemic and then biosecurity control in the country, there are some few things that our framework help us. When it comes to disease control, it comes to biosecurity measures, and then regulatory compliance. Because of time, I don't want to go into it, but I believe you are all expecting you understand the way I'm going. Okay. Good. Let's carry on with them. Now, in the discussion, we have mentioned that there are certain institutions that will call out those in order to make sure that we are doing our work and doing very well. So it's not only the commission who is acting when it comes to what do you call it, fisheries management or disease management. So I'm just giving you some of you that will collaborate with them, and the role they play. Assuming there's any challenge in the country about free disease or outbreak or something, what do we do and how do we go about it? Usually, Fisheries Commission, we are the main lead. So we coordinate everything that we have there, official update, and we liaise with our partners to control the movement of live fish, etc., to make sure that diseases are controlled. And then we collaborate with the Veterinary Service Directorate They are the technical guys when it comes to fish health. So we have the reps with us in the commission. They diagnose the treatment, the surveillance and everything. They do that and we do the reporting. If there is a need for it to go out or wherever, they have to do that on our behalf. Again, we have the Environmental Protection Agency. As I've said, you need to do an environmental impact assessment before you can be permitted to use a certain part of land to do whatever you are going to do. As far as you want to do some work on the land or in water, you need that thing. So we collaborate with them as well. Again, we have the Water Research Institute. Their main thing is to do research in the water, look at the water qualities and other things to see how safe the fishes are. If you want to develop a new strain, they work on our Kosovo strain, tilapia strain that we are using. So we also collaborate with them, managing disease and other things in the country as well. And then we have our farm associations, because we need to buy into whatever we are bringing to them. So they bring their challenges to us, they make a recommendation to us, and then we'll make sure we work with them so the industry can move forward. Yeah. Now, so after the 2018 disaster, what happened, and then the fishes died, we want to make sure that we are able to put ourselves in place where we can act properly. So we have developed emergency preparedness and response plans for aquatic animal health disease animals. So whenever there's an outbreak, there should be, and we get something. Some of these things we have already started putting them in place already. We are able to validate them and then utilize them. We have to establish a protocol for emergency preparedness and response. Again, we have to establish an emergency response team, which should include fishing officer, a veterinary officer, and the PWDs, diagnostic laboratory technician, environmental protection agency, water research institute, all our collaborators have to come in whenever there's an outbreak. They all have their role they need to play to make sure they are able to contain the disease and make sure it doesn't spread in the country. And then we also have to do risk assessment. But we have to determine which important disease of the aquatic animals present, which brings a threat that we need to quarantine or work on it so that it doesn't spread around. So that's what we have to do in case there's any emergency or an outbreak in the system in the country now. We have learned our lessons, so we are moving forward. Again, we have to sensitize the fish farmers on the need to comply with all recommended biosecurity measures in their farms, wherever they are. We need to teach them. And then, of course, enhance security surveillance at the borders against illegal introduction of other strains that can bring in diseases. Of course, we need to improve on the monitoring and control of aquatic establishments. We have to control them well. And then we have to formulate and implement strict punishment measures to make sure offenders are really punished. So if you look at our Act 2025, the regulations there now for punishment are very, very strict. Now, let's look at areas that policies that we are doing now to promote agriculture in Ghana to make sure we have fish sufficient or food sufficient. But in Ghana now, our what do you call it? Essential services are free. We teach them about construction, feed formulation, feed production, biosecurity, and so many things. All these things we do is for free for farmers. We don't charge them anything, just to make sure that the industry is growing. In some areas, we train people to become pond construction guys. So if any farmer wants to construct a pond, the guys are there to come and do it. And it's a form of creating jobs for them as well in that sector. Again, we are constructing hatcheries across the country. The government is we have about 6 of them that we are managing, and then we have private ones which are about 100. So it's an area that we also improve. If you look at the other side, you see a private farmer who has a hatchery in his farm, and you can see the setup, what tells you that we are moving forward. And all these people need to build their capacity in the fingerling production, broodstock management, hatchery management, and all that, so that they can be efficient in what they do. And all this will be for free. Again, when the ISK and everything came, we did some vaccinations, which is virtually for free. And anytime there's any outbreak like that, that's why one definitely be free. But some farmers who are capable of buying this now are doing their own vaccinations against strep. Now we can talk about the ICM again, but for the strep, they are still doing vaccinations, and they think it's more profitable for them to do that than to allow the fish to go raw and experience mortality. Again, by the help of the Norwegian government sponsorship, we are rehabilitating some of our labs, trying to create quarantine stations and other things to make sure that our country is secured. Now, another policy that we are doing in Ghana is what we call aquaculture food and jobs. In this case, we are trying to make sure we increase fish production, create jobs for the youth, and then reduce poverty and create wealth to enhance the use of water bodies that we have in the country there. So in this particular agenda, what the government does is that we have about 4 modules. We have youth in agriculture, we have the support to public institutions like the prisons and then schools. We have the nucleus outdoor where the youth is attached to a big farm, and then to get the training, is supported to grow. And then we have the support to distressed farmers. Some who have gone, they are getting out of business because of lack of resources or money or some of the problems. Government comes in to come and support. So all this is going to make sure that aquaculture production is going up. Now, so what the government does is that we come and give you a pond or a cage or tabulate tanks for free. We also train you for free. We give you fingerlings for free. Then we give you feed that can take you for one cycle for free. Yes. That's what you do. For the youth to give their interest in entering to aquaculture, just to make sure that they're also in business and increase our production. There's food security in the country, and that is all. So we support in those areas. Now, by the grace of God and that of the Norwegian government, we have done so well in this area. They've happened the aquaculture national well plan, which is now the blueprint for aquaculture development in the country. And then we have been able to do some feed formulation in the country, and that's what we introduce to them to make sure that feed comes down. In Ghana, we have about 5 or 6 factories that produce feed, but the price is very high. So I love the Egyptian one, where the company will come and give you the thing, and you pay or pay after this thing. I think it's a very good thing because they have a payment of them. You're going to have to open the floodgate and ask more to come in, and they will go for it from there. Of course, they have helped us to also equip our laboratories, help us to train our vets and lab technicians, and they're helping us now to make sure our data is digitalized. The challenges we have in the system are all but all. So credit to the Norwegian. In fact, it's by their courtesy that we are here to learn more from David and go and participate. So thank you. Now, when we talk about challenges that we have with the, as I come to conclusion, access to funds. It's a challenge for our farmers to get money to invest into that aquaculture. No, aquaculture is a capital intensive. You need money to do that. It's a problem. And as I said, the cost of feed is very high. And then access to quality feed is. Now we have a challenge, a new challenge there now. Right now, we cannot tell even what strain that we are using in the country now. It's a very big problem. Maybe you can help us to come out of that thing. But we have different types there. Some are fast growing, some are gift, some are so and so forth. So it's a challenge to have our fingerlings now. Feed disease and biosecurity is a challenge. I can't run over that one. And when it comes to compliance to regulations, our people are not forthcoming. We have made our laws very stringent now and want to be sure that we can compel them to comply. But when it comes to our licensing, it's a problem. As I said, you need water resource, you need EPA before you need Fisheries Commission, before you can do aquaculture. What you do is so complex. So we are trying to bring them together to make it one-stop shop. And then when it comes to data collection, you have it sitting on people's laptops and other things which are not properly digitalized. So the project is helping us to make sure we get a system that can do that for us. Inadequate fish markets. When it comes to marketing, there's a problem with farm fish. So we are working with them to try to create markets for them and then help them do online marketing, etc. Then when it comes to the products, also, we don't have different types. Apart from smoking and drying and icing, we don't have much. But we need to project some that back where we're able to produce fish kebab, fish balls, and other things which are not helping the industry. But I think we need more. And the last but not the least is a natural disaster that we don't have control over. So what we're doing is that in our law now, we make it compulsory that every farmer should have an insurance. If you have an insurance, then you can help us. When you have a problem, you can sort yourself out. And then the opportunities, there are many opportunities in the area that the youth can get into, or investors can be. When we talk about pump construction, the tablet type of manufacturing, cage construction, biofuel technology, RAS setup, training, extension services, consultancy, fingerling production, fish feed manufacturing, net and accessories. All these are things that people can invest into and can help us. In fact, for aquatic animal health, the equipment, drugs, farmhouse managers, divers, post-harvest handlers, fish processing, fish storage and preservation, trading and transportation. All these things are opportunities that we think people can come in to come and invest in the country and then keep our industry moving on. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say that if you meet someone without a smile, just give me one of yours and we shall all smile. Thank you so much. So if you have any question, you have anything to tell me, that's okay.
You don't have family.
What?
Family? Why?
No, yeah. We have now what you introduce now. We are trying to see, we have assessed somebody who wanted to do that, to bring in on a regular basis to see where it will work. So we want to open the gap for that one as well. Because we have a similar species there, but we have not tried that one. So we want to bring that one in to see what we can do. That's why I was going to mention that the one from Saudi Arabia. We also go there, so that's what we do.
We can get a flick. For 10 minutes or
15 minutes. Yes.
And